Hi there. Before we roll on with this episode of the RVE podcast, here's a quick reminder that the RV Entrepreneur Workshop is taking place on September 12th during the big RV show in Hershey, Pennsylvania. This full day of networking, education, food, and fun will be followed by a live recording of this podcast with audience participation. That evening, enjoy dinner, drinks, and live music at the popular RV Life after party. Space is filling up quickly, so get more info and tickets at therventrepreneur.com. Many thanks to our amazing partners making these events possible, including Jayco, Cool RV, Open Road Resorts, Lithionics Battery, Air Skirts, RV TV, Open Roads Fuel Card, Clear 2O, Work Camper News, and more. Visit therventrepreneur.com for complete details and sign up today before tickets are gone. And now, on with the show.
Welcome to the RV Entrepreneur Podcast, the weekly show for nomads, work campers, RVers, and entrepreneurs looking to earn a living or build a business while enjoying the RV lifestyle. This week's host is Kimberly Crossland. Let's settle in and enjoy the RV Entrepreneur Podcast, brought to you by RV Life.
Welcome to another episode of the RV Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host for this week, Kimberly Crossland, and I am so thrilled to be bringing you Jill DeWitt. Jill is half of the husband and wife team who owns Land Academy. Together, they invest in land, they buy and they sell land, and they also teach others how to do so profitably and from the road. They've founded numerous other businesses to help them ease the process of buying and selling land from anywhere in the country, including their signature course, Land Academy, which I happen to be a member of. I have seen their process and I know that it works. In this episode, you're going to hear from Jill. She's going to share with you how they got started, how you can grow your business buying and selling land from the road with their help, and how you can make money while you travel looking at all these beautiful pieces of land and then ending up flipping them without always having to stay on them. You can also maybe even find some land for yourself. Regardless of how you want to buy and sell the land, Jill talks about the importance of real estate and the benefits of entering the real estate market. And she's going to share with you this new entrepreneurial idea that not a lot of people know about. I cannot wait for us to dive into this conversation and for you to listen in on it. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Attention detail-oriented explorers. Do you crave adventure and thrive in independent work environments? ID Plans seeks data rock stars to travel the country surveying commercial properties. Gain or use your tech skills like laser measuring and 3D cameras to gather data on everything from rooftop HVAC units to parking spaces. Challenge yourself in all weather conditions and enjoy the flexibility of managing your own schedule. This is more than a job. It's a chance to explore new places while putting your skills to the test. Competitive pay per project awaits. Are you ready to map your next adventure? Send your resume and work history to workcamperjob@idplans.com. Don't miss out. Have you ever wondered why your RV feels like a sauna on hot days, despite your roaring air conditioning units? Cool RV has a groundbreaking solution to this predicament. For just $84.95 per AC, you can transform your RV into a cool oasis. Best of all, the shipping fee is on us. Discover this new innovation at coolrv.com. That's cool with a K, RV.com. Podcast listeners can save 5% with code RVLife.
Jill DeWitt, thank you so much for joining us. I have secretly fangirled you for a while because I've been a part of your world for so long. And so being able to have the chance to interview you for the RV Entrepreneur is a huge honor. I know that our audience is going to get so much out of all the unique takes you have on the RV lifestyle and running a business from the road. So I'm thrilled for that conversation. But first, why don't you share a little bit about your own RV lifestyle and how you and your husband travel?
Thank you very much, Kimberly. I'm so happy and excited to be here. And yes, RV life, being on the road has really just taken over for us. We love it. So we started, back up. Maybe 8-9 years ago, we rented a Class A, way too big. It was comical, with some friends who talked us into going to Moab and Canyonlands. And we didn't know what we were doing, of course. We did everything wrong. But thank goodness we were with some friends that knew what to do. That really helps, getting someone that, understands how black, gray, everything works kind of thing. It was comical. And they helped us, and we just kind of realized this is kind of a nice way to live, and just to, way to see the country. So a couple years later, we're in COVID. We're one of those people, like, we got to get out of here and do something. So we got our starter RV. I lovingly call that. It was a Class C Mercedes, 24 feet. And I thought, this is it. And we took it all the way from California to Michigan. And we were gone. The first trip was like 2 months, I want to say, that we were gone. And I felt so proud, of our experiences and living out of it, for that length of time. And P.S., by the way, all running our companies and doing our podcast and recording all our content and everything we do for our day lives kind of thing. We were doing it successfully from the road. Wasn't as easy back then. We've made a lot of updates, and I will talk about that. And then, so fast forward to now, about a year ago, I got tired of folding my bed into the wall every morning because we had a Murphy bed, and I just got we kind of realized, we looked at each other and said, this is it. We love it. We need to, now we need to upgrade. So now we have a Class A. We are 38 feet, and it's perfect for us. We have the Class A. We have a motorcycle on the back of our rig, and then we have a Jeep that we tow, and then we have our bicycles on the back of the Jeep. So we're kind of in it. And we did last summer, we were gone for about 4 months. And then this summer, I'm planning probably like 5 months, maybe longer. We'll see. Where we live in Arizona, it makes sense to leave anyway, and gosh, once you get out there, you forget what home's like. Like, this is your home, and we just went, even over the holidays, we spent a month in Colorado, even in the snow, and we did just great, and we love it.
Isn't that funny how you hear the term home on wheels often,
Yep.
But then to really experience that feeling, like my children, I think they almost sleep better in the RV because it feels so familiar. Yeah, I sleep great in my RV. I get the best sleep. And that's one of those misconceptions I think about the RV lifestyle, is people think it's uncomfortable or dirty or whatever, but it's so not. It's anything but. It's really, really fun because you get to take that comfort with you and go and explore. And also, like you said, take your job with you on the road and be able to, there is a little bit of a learning curve to taking your job on the road, and we will get into that in just a little bit. But first off, I want to ask you, because I know your answer. This is an intentional question. How are you planning your summer trip, Jill?
Oh my gosh. I would not survive without the RV Life app. I love it.
This is not an ad. It's just like a legit user case study.
It really is. I'm like, when I found out, Kimberly, that you're involved with this, I'm like, well, shoot, I'm a perfect spokesperson. I can truly say it changed my life. I love it. I use it to plan. I pull up the parks. I read the reviews. I leave the reviews. I use even a little money calculator, and it's really kind of funny. I kind of brag to people. I'm like, look, we were gone for 99 nights. This is how much it costs. And and people go, wow, RVing's not cheap. I'm like, well, that's a whole nother thing. That's true, especially how we do it. But I can keep track of everything. And it's great. So my husband can log in. He can see where we're going, make little notes about things he wants to do or add. And it's a marriage saver too.
Oh, that's a good one too. I hadn't heard of it said that way. And I think you're absolutely right.
You have to talk about it. He doesn't like, what's going to happen in blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you have the app also. Go for it.
Right. Exactly.
What's funny, it saved me. There was one time with our new rig that I'm like, stop, turn around. Like, he loves to use the Google map, and I use the map that we have on the app. And I'm like, this is the wrong way. And he's like, we're going to try it. And I'm like, and we had to stop, unhook, turn around, because the app saved us.
Oh my goodness.
We would have been in a bind staring at a tunnel we couldn't go through.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's crazy. You do have to be very careful in how you're navigating those routes. And it's nice to have an app that will help you with that for sure. Well, before we get too deep into the RV life, because that is a whole other conversation we can have for another day. Yep. And I love having those conversations. I can talk for hours about how much I love the RV life. But I also really want to talk to you about your business. So tell us how you make money from the road. What was it that you were doing during COVID and you're still doing now from the road?
our entire career has been always to have a business that we can do. Back then it was from the back of a boat. That was our original plan. So when we found RV living and exploring this way, we're like, this is kind of better. I can see so much and I love it. So that's it. We designed our life that we could do it from anywhere. That's really it. And it's worked out. Well, and it kind of started back in the 90s. My husband started buying and selling land really in the 90s. And we figured out, we're buying and selling land all over the country anyway. It doesn't matter where I'm sitting. We've done all kinds of other things along the way. We've flipped houses and stuff. And I'm like, I'm never going to do that again. I'm not set up for it. I'm not just not cut out for it. I don't have the stomach for it. Either of us do. We don't own a construction company. And B, I have to be there. I have to manage those projects. But gosh, buying and selling land, I can do it from anywhere, and I do. So my normal life was sitting like where I am right now, sitting in Scottsdale, Arizona, buying and selling land 3 states over. Well, why do I have to be sitting here? I don't. I can be anywhere. And then over the years, we have, just perfected it. The rig that we bought was because it had a space. I could pull out a recliner and we could put a workstation in there. So we have a full on desk with a computer there, a couple monitors, and then even cameras and things for the other stuff that we do, lights and everything permanently set up. So we can just sit down any moment and go to work. And then for me, there's times that it's kind of really his desk. I just have a little desk that I take in the back bedroom because I've got plenty of room. There's 2 doors in between us, so we can kind of separate, have our own quiet time. And I go back there and set up my little workstation and happily work away. And then, by lunchtime, we're kind of like looking at each other, pretty much done. Like, let's go goof off. And that's what we do.
I love it. I love the best of both worlds right there, where you can have, get that professional fulfillment, but then also get the fun side and go and goof off wherever you are in the world. So
totally.
Talk to me about selling land, because this is what drew me to you in the first place. I think over, how long have I been following you guys? A little over a year, more than that, actually, probably a year and a half. But the way that you guys approach us, so when someone hears buying and selling land or flipping land, I've heard people call it flipping land, that's a little bit different. But talk to us about what that looks like. What does that process look like? Because there's so much more that goes into it than just, hey, that's a nice piece of property. Maybe we put in an offer on it and see if we can resell it for a little bit more. There's a lot more that you have to do, a lot more research. You guys are very data driven, which speaks to my heart. I love the data side of things. And you're able to really make more educated guesses. So you're not wasting time. So you can have that time to goof off and go out there and hit the road. So can you speak a little bit to that process and what that actually looks like?
Yep. It's kind of nice because over the years now I have a sweet little team with my transaction coordinator and everything. So I got to say my work week is buying and selling land's about a 2-hour work week at the really. So it's really nice. It's the other things that we do. We have a direct mail company and other things that support that. That takes up more of my time. But the real core of it, land is easy and it's fun. And, that's part of why, we are in the RV so much and why we love that lifestyle and just getting out there. I didn't even know I was a land person, but I'm a land person. I stand there and I can find beauty in any property. And everywhere we go, I'll find a sunset. I'll find something beautiful in the trees and people think desert's ugly. I'm like, I'm going to argue it's not. There's some pretty desert properties and views that we have and we visited. But back to the question. So basically, it started in the 90s. My husband figured out, he bought a property on eBay. It's really how it all started. Bought it for $4,000. This was, when eBay was just getting going and people didn't even know you could do stuff this way. And he bought it sight unseen, wrote a check for it, got the deed. And then he went out and took some great pictures of it, wrote a beautiful description, just made it look phenomenal, turned around and sold it for 16, it was 4. So it was 3-4 times our money back then. He's like, all right, there's something here. So it grew from there into a giant eBay operation. Then, in 2007, 8, 9, in that period, we all know real estate, crunch, we pivoted and we just basically pivoted to still doing buying and selling land, but just, marketing it different. we had one sales outlet, and that was a failure on our part. Now we have a lot of sales outlets. We figured it. So we've been through this business for, decades now and a couple of downturns. So we know how to do it. So we've been having our own real estate investment company for many years. And then in 2015, we started 14, we launched in 2015. We had enough people like you who are like, what the heck are you guys doing? How do you guys get to have this lifestyle? Buying and selling land, I don't understand. So we created Land Academy, where we teach other people how to start and grow to whatever size you want it to be, your own land investment company like ours. And that's the gist of it. And then fast forward to now, we really perfected teaching, how we use data and pick these areas and how to price offers and how to reach these sellers. We're creating land deals where there is none. It's not like I'm finding out on the MLS and talking somebody down or not, buying it from a tax deed or anything like that. We've done all that, but we're sending out offers by the thousands to people in areas, like you said, Kimberly, using data very strategically and getting letters in the hands of the people that we want to buy their property. And we send out so many that there's a very predictable number that are going to call us back or write or even sign it and send it back and say, yeah, you know what? You just hit me at the right time. I need to sell this. And it's great. And then we help you with all of that. Like I said, pricing and selling and all the way to the end, coaching to if you want to have a big business or you just want to do something on the side to you so you can afford your RV life.
What I absolutely love about the way that you teach and what you just said right now is it's not this approach that I thought it was in the beginning. When my husband and I first started talking about this, I was like, I don't want to be, I don't know, just making these offers and then making it feel really icky. I don't love sales, but I also love sales. And I do really well with sales, by the way. I've won a lot of sales competitions. And the reason is because I don't like to feel like I have to take a shower when I'm done with that conversation because I just feel so gross about what I just said. I like to feel in integrity. I can't fake it. I can't be a fake it till you make it kind of person. And the way that you guys teach it is so kind and compassionate. And one of the first lessons and one of the first conversations that we had after joining Land Academy, because we are members, is so I'm the person that answers the phone. When you call our company, you'll probably get me most of the time. My husband does too, but just the nature of our lives, it's mostly me that answers. And the conversations that I had really surprised me in a very good way because people would call and it was just another person on the other side of the phone. And I've had the most delightful conversations that never turned into a sale, at least not yet. You never know where these connections are going to go. So it was just a human to human interaction where I had someone who they had planned to move back to where we had been sending the letters. They had gotten one of our mailers. They planned to move back to that land. They were going to build on it. But then their daughter had a baby and he was just over the moon, a new grandpa, so excited to talk about this little baby. And he's like, I can't move back there. I want to be close to my grandchild. I'm like, man, I get that. Let me help you. And he's like, yes, please. Like you came at the exact right time. So just like you said, you never know. I had somebody else and she said, it's just too much for me to handle. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm ready to hand this over. I love the land, just ready to give it to somebody else. And so when I think about sales and I think about buying and selling land, it's more than a transaction. And you get to hear those stories and be part of that person's life. And you get to form these really cool connections that you wouldn't actually have expected. And I wanted to highlight that, especially after what you said, because so often the RV lifestyle can feel a little bit lonely. You're meeting new people all the time. Yes, but you're also traveling alone. And once you say goodbye, then you're off to meet more new people, but it tends to be a lonely journey. Having this kind of a business brings those new human connections into it that is so uplifting and exciting. And you want more of it and you want to keep doing more of it. And you get excited to send out mailers because you're like, who do I get to talk to? When you see that call coming in, you're like, yes, let's answer it. Let's have that conversation. And it actually is really, really fun. And I'm saying this, by the way, as someone who does not like the phone. I hate the phone. I'm terrible on it, but I don't mind answering these calls because yes, you've had people who will say their piece about why are you offering me this? And then I say, thank you for bringing it to my attention. Let's have a conversation about it because you know more about this land than I do. And then it breaks them down immediately. They're not aggressive. I haven't had a single conversation where someone is mean. It's just people connecting with another person. When they hear your voice, they're excited to have that connection too. And so you spark this really meaningful connection. And, oh, by the way, we've made money. We've made good money. So there's money to be had in this, like you said. It's a really cool concept that I have not heard a lot of people talk about with the RV life entrepreneur route, that you can go and make this money from the road.
Are you ready to elevate your RVing adventures? With RV Life Pro, you're not just getting a service, you're gaining a reliable companion for your journey. From planning your trips with precision to navigating with confidence and even connecting with a vibrant community of fellow RV enthusiasts, RV Life Pro is your all-in-one solution. Don't just dream about the perfect adventure, live it. Visit rvlife.com today and discover how RV Life can enhance your RVing experience.
Do you want to share a little bit about, I just, spout off about a bunch of my experiences, but do you want to share some of your experiences? Because you also said that you weren't expecting to be a land person and it's really fun for you. So I felt the same way. So I understand this. I'd love to hear, what are some of the fun parts for you about this journey?
Well, what's interesting is when you're out in the country, we're like, we cannot get into a vehicle without getting an app out and like looking at property values. It's the funniest thing. So it's like, we're nuts. It's kind of like even RV living. People think we're nuts. They're like, what? You went for how long? They don't get it. They either get it or they don't. And I don't feel lonely out there. It's so funny because I'm making friends everywhere I go. People I'm parked next to, they're going to be my friends because it just happens. And then we go out and just meet people in new towns. And then I get drawn into those towns. Like, I don't want to leave. That's the best part too, by the way. I love with RV travel is I go places and you meet people. And then I'm like, it's so funny. It takes a whole day sometimes to rework the trip, but we're the people like, this is a blast. We were only here for a week. Now we're staying 3 weeks. And I'm like at the front desk saying, what can I do? How long can I stay? We'll move all around so we can stay because I love it because we're having fun and meeting people. But so went off on a tangent there, Kimberly. Refresh me. Where was the question in there? Because I just totally walked all over it.
No, I love it. I love that you did because you're pointing out, actually, you were leading right into it. So what is your favorite part about buying and selling land? What are some of the unexpected fun parts of it?
Seeing new areas, like when we're out, and that's where I was going, and we're looking at numbers and properties, we'll start to pick up on, ooh, this could be a good place to send a mailer kind of thing. And I'm really seeing it. There is you don't have to go out and see the property. I actually don't recommend, especially for someone like me. If you're buying and selling land like me, and you make a point to go out and look at the land, you'll never sell it because you'll fall in love with it.
So
that's
true.
a bad thing. So you have very early on, my husband, when he was teaching me how to do all this and bringing me into the fold, he said, you have to see every piece of property as a line item and a spreadsheet. I'm like, noted. Don't go, you can't get your heart involved. I'm like, I understand. And what's funny is now it's kind of flip-flop. Over the years, we had a few properties that he got involved that I've sold. And he's like, why'd you sell that? I'm like, you told me it's a line, just do this. And he's like, I kind of wanted that one. I'm like, well, I can go get you another one kind of thing. It's really funny. But I love, we're out and it lends being out in an RV, driving around the country, especially in these very remote areas, is really what I do for a living. I really primarily buy and sell land in these, beautiful remote areas. And it's wonderful. And like I said, we'll go out and pick up on a lot of things, like we'll come back that night going, I got to write all these zip codes down because we're going to look them up. So that's kind of where it starts. We'll find a beautiful area like, I don't know, Colorado. We spend a lot of time right now in southwestern Colorado. So we'll be like, all right, this area, this area, this area, this area. Then we'll come back. And my husband's really the data guy. He gets in and runs the numbers. He pits the zip codes against each other. He'll look at comps. He'll look at, days on market for the area. He'll look at, the math, new list to sold, all kinds of real brainy details. So if you're an accountant or you need numbers to really solidify what you're doing, you're in the right, that's us. So there's no dartboard. It's not like, oh, we're going to mail it because it's beautiful. No, the math needs to work kind of thing. Because I'm going to be sending out offers to buy these properties. That's a thing that about us too, I just want to throw in there that I found is very different. We actually own the property. I don't wholesale it. I don't get it under contract. I don't have equitable title. We believe in it. So when I'm, flipping a property, I buy it, I own it, my name's on the deed, and then I'm reselling it as fast as I can for at least double. That's pretty much my number. And often it's more than that. If I can't do that, I just don't buy it. It's kind of that easy, but I love it. Like I said, it goes hand in hand. And
yeah, I love what you said about the numbers too, because like I said, I love data and it takes that fear out of it. It takes some of that risk out of it. Of course, everything's risky on some level, but that's also kind of the fun part is you never know who's going to be calling you when you get those calls. I have done the whole process from start to finish, from gathering the data, doing all the research. And you're absolutely right with when you're driving through the country. I mean, being an RVer, you start to see these places and these wide open, beautiful spaces. And you're like, oh, I wonder if we could camp out here and have our own spot. But you're right about getting emotionally invested because I myself have had to pull myself back and say, hold on, this is not for us to just be buying all the time. Although, it's very tempting. You can have the best of both worlds. You can do both.
I have a secret Idaho property that I'm like not really trying to sell very well. It has an old falling down mobile home on it. It's 5 acres in this great part of Idaho that I picked up. I'm like, I don't want to sell this one. So I'm not really trying very hard. Because I'm like, we can just go park there and hang out for a while.
Exactly. You're emotionally invested, but for a different reason.
That's right.
Yes.
You can. You can't deal with all your properties because then your business is going to fail. But if you hang on to 1 out of 100 now and then, we're good with that. That's okay. Yeah. You can afford that.
Exactly. And that's the point is you can make really good money by doing this. And you can do it in a way that is full of integrity, like we were talking about earlier, and helps people. And it all is just such a win-win-win. And so I was really surprised by all of that when it came to buying and selling land. That's what really got me hooked is, hold on, this is a lot deeper than just a transaction. And that part to me is really, really compelling. But you guys in Land Academy, you teach all about the data. You offer those spreadsheets. And so it's really more of a plug and play. Just get the process from you two and go. And that's really, really helpful. But then you also have other services. And you kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the podcast. You have the mailing services, the kind of the concierge services that can help you get those mailers out there. Concierge data to help you understand that. So once you understand it, you can have someone to go and do more of the finessing for you. So you can save yourself some hours once you reach that point. And then you also have your own podcast and YouTube channel. So talk to me about all the different layers that you guys have going on, because you do have a lot. And how do you juggle that on the road, especially when Wi-Fi is not always a promised thing?
Yeah. So, a couple of things. What's interesting is because of us, we've always wanted to, have a job we could do from anywhere, or career life, basically. We started attracting people from other countries. So what's great about it, way before we started RVing and running our business from the road, we were helping people all over the world, remotely buy and sell land in the United States. So it's a natural thing for us. We will help you with, well, how do I handle the phones? How do I handle, internet? How do I handle mail? One of the things about what we do is, Kimberly, we send out letters. That's how we reach these sellers, is once we've done all our work and we love the area and we price the numbers all make sense, then we're putting together these huge mailers to go out to all the sellers in the area, all the property that we would like to buy. Let them come back to us. I'll send out 10,000 at a time, no problem. And they call me. But then some of them, there's a letter there. It's a very respectable, like you said, and professional. I don't sign off on, let's not make it slimy. I don't want $1 in there. Please don't do. So I saw someone in our group say, how about if I make it look like a check? I'm like, please don't do that. It's just a very nice, respectable letter. This is me. Page 1 is my company and how long I've been in business. And here's what I do. And you can look me up. And then page 2 is, hey, if you want to sell, here's the offer. And this is all I need to open escrow, and you can sign it, send it back. And people are like, so we've solved that too. Like, what if I'm on the road? They can't mail to me. Don't worry about it. We can help you and show you where to get a mailbox where they can either forward it to you or just open it and scan it for you. There's all the solutions that have gotten easier. And then the final solution was internet. And we struggled with that too for a long time. Back when we rented that RV and we were in Utah, I had to go to the McDonald's and we sat in the McDonald's for about 2 hours. Our kid fell asleep in the booth next to us. It was funny. This is 10 years ago. He was a little guy. And, but that's what we had to do. We had to go over there and just plug in and get our work done. And then we could go play. But at least we figured it out. Everything else, we already had a mailbox that was doing things. And I had my phone, and then I'd have to wait for service, and I'd schedule my phone calls basically where I knew I would be somewhere I could make calls and have service. Fast forward to now, we started with Starlink a couple years ago. We're on the new generation now, and it is night and day. So I'm telling you, we have Starlink. Oh my gosh, I think it's on board. I can't remember what the exact name of it is, but there's an RV unit. We have it installed permanently on our rig, and I have 24/7 rolling down the road, beautiful internet. The only issues is I'll tell you true time, like if you're parked under an awning, that's it. But cloudy days, it doesn't matter. In the beginning, there were things with that with Starlink, but now, it's only if I'm pumping gas and I'm under an awning, something like that. That's really the only time I'm like, it's a little bit spotty, but otherwise it's phenomenal. And so we just did a trip too, where we were traveling from Farmington to Durango in December. And I had to open up our weekly member call. And my dear Jack, he's driving. I'm on my passenger seat on my tablet, literally on my tablet. It was so funny. And it's like a year old or two tablet. I'm like, here we go. It was our new system that we had installed. And I had people on the call. I had co-hosts who were in Chicago. Their internet was going out. They were having trouble on their phone, wherever they were with their weather conditions. And if you've ever gone on Highway 550 from Farmington to Durango, it's good luck. You're way out there, man. And it was hilarious. Mine never missed a beat. So I'm on my tablet in the passenger seat. I had camera on facing me part of the time. There's times I turn the camera, like, you guys got to see this, and everybody was just mesmerized as we're going through these windy roads in the middle of nowhere. And it was awesome. So, having all that was the last thing. And I honestly think too that this new Starlink and this new system it's going to change all of our lives. It's changing my business. When I would buy and sell land to people in remote areas, they would have to solve that. Now it's getting better for them too. My buyers can go live off the grid, whether they, have a structure or their RV or a mobile home, whatever it is, or a tiny house. There's water solutions. They can have water delivered. There's other things they can do. Power, well, that's no problem. But it keeps getting better too. Every time I walk in Costco, I'm like, wow, look at this solar generator and how long someone can live off that kind of thing. So it just keeps getting better. So with our businesses, I do have, even most of our businesses are kind of remote. My transaction coordinator is in California. We used to live there. We moved back to Arizona after COVID, and I left her there. And she's just great. And she travels around and takes her laptop on her vacations, and we never miss a beat. Our direct mail company, that was a huge thing. That was a hurdle when we started this, and we couldn't find a mail company that could understand us, keep up with us, understand our community. And so we made one. And that's a company that we have. It's called Offers to Owners, offers in the number 2 owners.com. And I manage that remotely. And to juggle it, that's the best question. You just schedule your time. So in our land business, I set aside time pretty much weekly. Now I don't need to do it daily, but once or twice a week, it's my sit down and do my due diligence time. And it's really around my schedule. It's kind of like Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I got nothing going on in the mornings anyway. And, by 11, 12 o'clock, I'm done. I made all my calls back. I let my sellers know this is when I'm going to be doing my time. Where can I reach you at that time? Just kind of plan it out. and let them know and make sure you have their information and follow through. And that's it.
Yeah, it's so good. And I love everything that you just said, especially about the connectivity and how far we have come, because we really have, not just with internet, but with everything. And being able to work from anywhere has changed, but then also being able to invite other people into that approach to being off-grid, as off-grid as you want to be, and being able to travel and see the beauty of the outdoors, wherever that is. You said earlier, you can find beauty anywhere. I'm the same way. Nature is stunning, no matter where you look, up, down, all around. Nature is absolutely stunning. So being able to invite people into that. And then the way, I love how you also said that you founded Offers to Owners because you saw a need and there was a need that wasn't being met. So you created your own company to meet that need. And you know, the people listening are entrepreneurs at heart. So we get that. We get the need to just go out and fill that need whenever we get the desire to go fill that need whenever we see it pop up. And it's really, not only did it help you guys, but now you're also helping so many other people kickstart their own journey in buying and selling land and really being able to do so from the road, earn a really good living, and feel really good about the work that they're doing and have a lot of fun in the process because it's what it's really all about. You guys also have a nice community where you can feel supported all the time. Even when you guys are off grid, there's so many people in there that just make you feel so good about what you're doing. They get the path, the career path that you're on, and they get it. They get the whole process. They can also chime in and answer questions and give their experience. And so I absolutely love it. I think it's a really unique way that you don't hear talked about a lot about building a business from the road. It's such a cool approach. And I certainly have loved it this past year. And I just look forward to doing even more and more of it. I'm excited to get my next round of mailers out and the whole thing. It's really a great experience. So thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for coming on today. Can you tell us where we can find you?
Yes, absolutely. Please Google or just go to landacademy.com. You can find us everywhere. We have a podcast. We're on YouTube. You can join our weekly member webinar. There's a free ebook that you can learn more about how we got started, what we do, everything there. And like I said, you could be a guest on one of our calls if you want to, and just kind of like really see like, what are you guys doing? And see if you connect with it, see if it all makes sense. And everything that we do, and we have more stuff coming too. You don't know this, Kimberly, but I got some more stuff coming in 2024 that I'm really excited about. Like everything we've done until now is because you need it. You've asked. You need access to all the professional tools. You need a good, cheap mail provider. You need to understand the data. So we show you and share you and coach you and answer questions every week live to get you where you need to be. And there's two things like I'm really working on now is more deal funding, because that's a lot of things that people are like, okay, this is great, but I don't have the extra $30,000 lying around to buy this property, Jill. Well, you know what? I do. So, and I know how you found it and I know it's a good deal because I taught you how to do it kind of thing. So we do deal funding. And then my other big thing in 2024 is I'm really working on ladies. I'm really working more. There's going to be some more specific for land investing ladies. There's nobody that can fill that hole like I can. I've been doing it for quite some time now. And I watched our group evolve. We have a lot of couples and we have a lot of ladies in our group. So we can really speak to that. Like you and your husband, when you're doing stuff together, there's things there's a way to divide up the responsibilities and stay out of each other's lanes if you want to, have a happy life. And we've learned that too, all the ways to do it wrong, and we can help you. So we help with that as well.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait for all of that. And I mean, I've already gotten so much out of our time together inside of Land Academy. And I'm here for all the other stuff that's coming. Very, very excited for it all. And I absolutely am going to be linking to all of the resources. That webinar is a really good one to watch and everything you guys have going. So I will be linking to that in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Can I mention our promo code? I almost forgot about that. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Listening, you're like, oh yeah. If you want to join Land Academy at any point, put in the promo code RVLAND. So RVLAND 500, and I'll take $500 off for you.
Look at that. $500 off. That's Oh, that's such a good deal. And I will also link to that promo code in the show notes too. So you don't have to remember RV land, but you can. And that'll be your promo code to get $500 off. Absolutely worth it. So valuable. Thank you very, very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This has been really fun to catch up with you, Kimberly.
Yes, absolutely. I just loved my conversation with Jill. She is a wealth of knowledge. She's so kind and she's so much fun. And she's available for you to continue learning from. Like I said at the start of this episode, I am a member of Land Academy. I love the process of buying and selling land, something I actually never thought I would say. And I think you can understand why after listening into my conversation here with Jill. In this episode, she talked not only about how to get started buying and selling land, and how her and her husband do so from the road, as well as how they've built numerous other businesses to help land buyers and sellers. But they also talked about how to not get emotionally attached to those properties that you sell, how to work with your husband or your spouse when you're traveling, and how to do so without losing your mind so you can still take the afternoons off and seek adventure. If you want to continue learning from her, she has that special offer for you, and I'm so excited to give it to you. In this episode, you can go to landacademy.com and you can enter in the promo code RVLAND500. That code is also in the show notes below for you. And there you'll save $500 off tuition. I'm telling you, I'm a walking testament that this works. So if you want to go and save $500 on tuition, I have no doubt as you implement what you're learning in Land Academy, you will get that money back. Feel free to reach out to me privately if you have any other questions too. I'm always available for conversation with our listeners. You can reach me on Instagram. I'm at Kimberly.Crossland, so it's super easy to find me. Come on over, say hello. Let's chat about how you can buy and sell land from the road or any of your RV entrepreneurial ventures. I love to hear what you're up to. Come and say hello. And of course, come and join us inside the RV Entrepreneur Facebook group. That is where we are talking about all things RV entrepreneurship. Come ask your questions, get to know your fellow RV entrepreneurs, and let's really spark some campfire chats over in that group. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.
Attention detail-oriented explorers. Do you crave adventure and thrive in independent work environments? ID Plans seeks data rock stars to travel the country surveying commercial properties. Gain or use your tech skills like laser measuring and 3D cameras to gather data on everything from rooftop HVAC units to parking spaces. Challenge yourself in all weather conditions and enjoy the flexibility of managing your own schedule. This is more than a job. It's a chance to explore new places while putting your skills to the test. Competitive pay per project awaits. Are you ready to map your next adventure? Send your resume and work history to workcamperjob@idplans.com. Don't miss out. Have you ever wondered why your RV feels like a sauna on hot days, despite your roaring air conditioning units? Cool RV has a groundbreaking solution to this predicament. For just $84.95 per AC, you can transform your RV into a cool oasis. Best of all, the shipping fee is on us. Discover this new innovation at coolrv.com. That's cool with a K, RV.com. Podcast listeners can save 5% with code RVLife.